My timing needs to be studied, man. I swear to God it does, because I just finished playing Breath of the Wild. Like, I just pretty much did everything I wanted to in the game, sign out, and then, the Switch 2 reveal, the Switch 2 Direct happens, and then all of a sudden we're looking at, HD Zeldas, all this other stuff, runs at 120 frames, all this stuff. So I'm like, dude, I wish I would have just waited, because I had no idea they were going to do that with the old Zelda games. I mean, I guess it's good for whenever I play Tears of the Kingdom again, but I would have loved to enjoy Breath of the Wild, with faster loading times and more beautiful graphics or whatever. But I can proudly say I won't go back to this title for a while, man. I like Breath of the Wild. This is my second playthrough ever of it. And I don't know, man. It's just, I really like Tears of the Kingdom as well. I don't really remember too much about it because I haven't played it since release, but these newer, modern Zelda titles just do not hit the same for me. I know they're, groundbreaking for the series, but I don't know, man. A Zelda in, an open world RPG, it works, it's fun, it has, cool gimmicks, cool mechanics, especially in the sequel, which I'll probably be bringing up. I'm going to mention it a lot because, it's practically the same game, but with added features. But yeah, just Breath of the Wild, man. I don't know what it is. I like to consider myself to be a pretty big Zelda fan, but I can't really get behind these new titles, man. I just don't know what it is. It's just missing all of the old charm and stuff from the older games, and just, we'll get all into it. We'll break it all down and everything, but just, I don't know. I truly feel alone on this opinion as well, because these modern Zeldas seem to be celebrated by the community as a whole, which they do a lot of stuff great, don't get me wrong. I don't know. It doesn't quite hit like the older ones. So yeah, fellas, that's today's episode. We are covering a Zelda title. Probably one of my least favorites. My personal favorites, Ocarina of Time is a huge one. It's my first one I ever played. Holds a special place in my heart. Twilight Princess is probably my actual favorite one. Ocarina of Time for the nostalgia, but Twilight Princess for the actual story and just setting. I love how grim and dark it is. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, man. Breath of the Wild, originally released March 3rd, 2017. And it's 2025. Dude, this game is almost a decade old. How? How is this game almost 10 years old? There's just no way. There's actually no way. The world felt like a completely different place when this game came out. Who was with me on that shit? Seriously. I'm not going to lie. I did not buy Breath of the Wild right on release day either. I actually waited a year before I played this one the first time. One, because I just didn't feel like spending the money at the time, which is wild because I always typically buy the Zelda titles. There's only a small select few franchises that I buy day one and maybe even pre-order if I want to, but let's be honest, pre-orders don't really do shit nowadays. Anything Doom is an instant day one buy for me. Doom the Dark Ages comes out next month. I'm so fucking hyped for that game. That game's gonna be sick. Anything Overwatch, I know they probably won't ever make another standalone Overwatch game, but if there was ever any spin-off or anything, I would buy day one just because I love the franchise. I talk about it all the time. Anything Dead Rising, we don't talk about Dead Rising 4, but anytime there's a new Dead Rising title, I'm gonna pick it up. I still have yet to get the remaster of the first game. I've been meaning to get it, but just hasn't been on my plate. And that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, Fallout is the last franchise. That's pretty much all I'll buy day one, just because I know everything in those series is gonna be good. Even if it's not the strongest, it's still really good. Oh, and BioShock as well. BioShock 1, 2, Infinite was a little weaker than the first two, but still a great game. I just always get sidetracked, don't I? I just like to yap about all the random games that come to my mind when I start up the podcast and start talking about stuff. You know what I mean? I know somebody knows what I mean. Anyways, as I was saying before, I waited a year to play this game. I actually didn't even buy it. I used my brother's copy because he got it. And, I really like it. The one reason I didn't get it right away is because it was an open world RPG, one of my favorite things about Zelda was always, exploring the dungeons, doing all that in a linear kind of on the rails experience, you know what I mean? This is just 100% my preference, by the way. It's not anything the game does wrong in any way. I just think I'm not the biggest fan of open world RPGs, but I do like them. There's a lot of them I do like. I just have to play them in moderation, because these games are time sinks at the end of the day. You have to spend a lot of time exploring, getting good gear, getting good money, learning the map, fighting a bunch of enemies, leveling up. I know and a lot of those things aren't in this game, and that's kind of why I don't like it as well. It's like, this game is essentially baby's first open world RPG. You know, it has a lot of easy to understand elements. It's not too in depth. There's no skill tree or anything like that. So it's like pretty bare bones. And I just don't, you know, I'm the type of guy that likes to just play a quick experience. You know, I'm a huge fan of like Call of Duty campaigns. I know the modern ones kind of suck ass and I haven't played them really, but I just like, you know, 14 missions in a row, a story throughout each of them, a developing story, and it's just constant action. You know, cutscenes, all that. That's what I'm a fan of. I do love the RPGs though. You know, I can't spam them or else I get super, super tired and out of it. I can't do it, man. And I guess that's why this game just doesn't resonate with me that well. You know, I just wish there was a lot more depth. I wish there was like a combat skill tree. I wish, you know, you could like craft arrows or do different things like that. It's just like the most in-depth thing you can do is learn cooking recipes, and that's not even a joke. Like, that's pretty much all you can do in this game, which is fine. It's fun. It's great. It's still a Zelda title. You know, you're still Link at the end of the day. You're still slaying Hyrule's enemies here. You still save the princess at the end. You know, you do the whole Ganondorf arc. That's all good and great. You know, it's got the classic Zelda storyline, which I'll just spoil really quick. It's pretty much how it is in every single Zelda title. Link spawns in. He's unaware of what's going on. He quickly finds out what's going on. He shows up, he saves the day, GG's until next time Ganon comes back. And the funniest part is it's literally not even a joke. You can literally take what I just said, apply it to mostly every single Zelda title ever released, and that pretty much follows the same exact story. Kind of the same thing with Mario games, you know, Mario shows up, saves Princess, defeats Bowser, end game. I guess you could probably apply that same storyline to most Nintendo games and it would probably follow suit most of the time. But, you know, that's not what we play Nintendo games for, man. Nintendo games, you know, they obviously are marketed towards kids. This is the family console. Nintendo's the family company, the family video game company. Sure, why not? Doesn't have to have some convoluted Tarantino Pulp Fiction storyline. You got to kind of respect it. You know, they know what they want to do. They go for it. They knock it out of the park, and they always deliver a high quality game, even if it's not the most in-depth like masterpiece. Another thing I got to glaze Nintendo for is just their ability to, you know, come up with these crazy art styles, man. I love the fact that they don't have to go for that, you know, that Unreal Engine 5 hyper realistic, oh my god, ray tracing. They go, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And then they have their great artists just draw up and design and animate all these beautiful colors that just blend together so well, and every Nintendo game is just so recognizable from an art standpoint. I'm genuinely trying to think of a Nintendo IP off the top of my head that I don't think looks good or like looks pleasing, you know, and I don't think I can, man. All of Nintendo's franchises, they just look good, man. And Breath of the Wild is no exception, man. Like, if you don't love the color blue, if you don't like the color blue, you will by the end of this game. I'm telling you, dude, that animation when you touch the shrine and then the blue glass like breaks into a million little blues, dude, it's just so aesthetically pleasing. I fucking love that animation. And this game turned me on to blue. I hate to admit it. I've never been the biggest fan of the color blue, but I do enjoy some blue after playing this game. While I'm already on the topic of shrines, I guess I'll just talk about that now. That's my favorite, genuinely my favorite part of Breath of the Wild is going through and doing the puzzles on each shrine. I just really don't like the fact that there's shrines that are like major test of strength, minor test of strength, moderate test of strength. It's just an excuse to make you fight something. I much prefer the shrines that have puzzles that you solve in them just because, I don't know, I like my brain teased a little bit there. And that's kind of something that changed from playthrough to playthrough, you know? The first time I ran into shrines, I was so excited to get all of them done. Like, if I saw a shrine in the overworld in my first playthrough, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going right the fuck there, and I'm doing it. And on the second playthrough, I still had that feeling, but then there was this little thing where I would go, I hope it's not a fighting one, which, you know, kind of just really sucked down on the experience for me personally. And that's something I want to get into as well. You know, the fact that you literally have to grind shrines when you first start the game, because you will die to literally everything in the game if you don't, which also directly leads into another problem I have with this game, which is the Master Sword. The Master Sword is like, it's so annoying to get in this game, especially because If you're like me, I don't like looking stuff up about games. I just like to try to play through the game naturally, and what I get is what I get. But the Master Sword is like so out of the way. It's almost like not part of the main quest at all. It just feels completely sidelined. And you have to like get, 13 heart capsules first. So you have to sit there and grind heart capsules, which means you have to grind shrines because you can't do the divine beast yet because you're too weak, so you have to grind shrines. But then you have to spend all of your little orbs on the heart vessels if you want the Master Sword to make those easier, so you can't upgrade the stamina. So you have to sit here and, climbing mountains is harder because you don't have the stamina vessels and because you want the Master Sword. And I don't know, it's just like this weird balance between what you want to go for. Like, I hate the weapon system in this game. On my second playthrough, I was better at managing it with the help of the Korok seeds or whatever, because I didn't realize in my first playthrough that the Korok seeds could expand your inventory, which still is kind of annoying to this day. I don't, it's not a system I really like that much. The weapons break too fast, and because of that, I just thought, I should get the Master Sword. Why not just alleviate all of the problems the weapons have, get the Master Sword, it never breaks, so I could just use that. But here's the problem. You spend so much time getting the Master Sword, and the only thing it's useful against is the Guardians and like the mini bosses and stuff in Hyrule Castle. So if you can use this, but it does like half damage on enemies that aren't like ancient or whatever. I'm going to put that in quotes, like mini bosses or guardians or whatever. So if you use it against normal enemies, it's weaker. And if you use it too much, it runs out of energy and then you can't use it for a while anyway. So it's like you spend so much time getting the Master Sword and it's still a piece of shit that you can use situationally. Like, I hate that, dude. That is not Zelda at all. Zelda was always about the main focus was getting your sword, and then that was your fucking weapon the whole game, and it was reliable. I really, really don't like what they did to the Master Sword in this game. Gameplay wise, anyway, I will say getting the Master Sword, going through the Lost Woods, and like seeing the Deku Tree and everything was actually phenomenal. That was one of my favorite parts of the game. It just sucks that the reward of the Master Sword isn't that great in general. But when it does come to boss fights, I do got to give it props. I mean, it is insane. It does so much damage to boss fights and the bosses in general. Very, very handy to have. Again, I'm not the biggest RPG fan, so a lot of my problems stem from me just not wanting to sink hours into the game. It's designed around being just a time sink, right? You want to sink time into this game to get stronger and stronger and stronger, which for someone like me, like I like to move on from game to game to game to game, That's why I can't grind RPGs, man. Which also kind of goes back to my previous point about this game being bare bones, right? The fact that the only things you can upgrade is your heart capsules and the stamina, that is literally the most depth the game has. There's just no incentive for me to grind and explore everything in general, because that's why I feel like the side quests in this game are pointless as well. You don't get XP to level up for them. You don't get like new weapons or new blueprints or anything like that. It's just like, what's the point? That's really just why this game isn't Zelda to me, because if you took the only reason this game is so popular and is so well received is because it has the Zelda title. I swear to God, if this game was called literally anything else, I don't think it would be as popular as it was, man. Because it's like, yes, it's the first Zelda RPG, but in terms of RPGs, it's like so far behind everything else. And that's also why I feel like the traditional style Zelda, like the traditional 3D style Zelda games are just better. Like, I love unlocking all of the weapons, like the hook shot, the hammer, like all the stuff that helps you progress through other dungeons. It just feels like there's none of that in this game. Like, there's no gadgets that help you besides, whatever's in the Sheikah Slate or whatever, That's another thing I don't really like about this Zelda. I just don't really feel like the enemies are that interesting. The basic ones or whatever, they're all like hog-like enemies you kill in Zelda. That's nothing new. I'm talking more about like just like the tech, you know what I mean? Like, everything is based around the Sheikah Slate, the divine beasts. While they were cool the first time around, the only thing that's different about each one is what animal it is. They're all the same dungeon. You literally turn on all the terminals. It's not exciting at all. Every single mini boss in the game is just some form of Ganon that's like fused with tech, which it's like, okay, cool. It's a cool concept. just really feel like older style dungeons were way better. Like, dude, think of like Arbiter's Grounds from Twilight Princess, that boss fight, like so fucking unique on like the top spinner, or, you know, the Sky Temple where you use the hook shots to like grab around the pillars and get up to the bird. Like, dude, that shit is so unique. And where is that in this game? Like, where is it? Point to it. Genuinely, where is it? I just feel like that's the stuff that got sacrificed to make this RPG work, you know, with like the fast travel, the Sheikah Slate, everything's got to be tech, so it's all got to make sense in the world to make it all come together and flow nice, you know? I don't know. It's just not for me, man. I know I've been kind of dogging this game, and I swear I'll get back to some positive stuff in a minute. I just wanted to get all my nitpicks out of the way while the train was already rolling here, you know? You know how I said earlier that the most depth this game has is being able to cook foods and different recipes? Well, guess what? Is there a recipe book that, you know, you can look up all the recipes of the stuff you've made before that you want to emulate again, you know, stuff that has benefits that you want to get on it? No, there's not. There's literally not a recipe book for the one thing in the game that has depth. Like, what were they thinking, man? On top of that, last thing I really dislike about this game, I hate when you get to the Gerudo part of the game and you have to like gender swap and wear like the Gerudo dress or whatever, or the Gerudo clothes. It's gay. I'm not fucking gay. I'm not a cross-dressing fucking gay. Okay? I hate this part of the game. No, but in all seriousness, like, it's so like unnecessary and unneeded. Like, you're the hero of time. You should be easily recognized. Like, what the fuck is this gender swap gay shit? What the fuck? I just think it's kind of strange that they make you do it as a main quest, right? Like, I hope at least put some equality in there too, right? Like, maybe in a future Zelda game, maybe make Link go blackface to be accepted and get into a city, right? Or what if Link had to dye his hair blue to get into like a certain society? Now I'm going to pivot. I'm going to turn it all around. I think we can all agree that this is arguably like a top 5 sound cue in all of gaming. Like, this is one of the best sound cues ever made. I don't know what it is, man. I just love discovering a shrine or a town for the first time, and then that sound plays. It's like so satisfying to listen to. Same with like the new item sound and like, you know, the bigger treasure sounds. Like they're kind of like the originals, but they're remastered in like this nice way. I got to give it to Zelda for that. You know, the visual and the audio is always on point in these games, no matter what, and I can always appreciate that. I don't know if this was their intention, but the fireproof suit that you get in Goron City, that kind of reminded me of Bomberman. I don't know. It's got like the Bomberman, like little ball that goes off the top of the helmet there. I don't know if it was a direct reference or whatever, but it looks like it to me. So if it was, W Nintendo for that. And then the last thing I really want to talk about is just the champion abilities, like the Rivali Updraft, which is what you get. This is the first one you should get, by the way, if you're playing a new save, just because it helps you like climb and scale mountains and stuff. It basically just gives you a giant upwards boost that's just very useful for traversing the map. You've got the Urbosa Fury, which is like when you're holding a heavy attack and you're spinning around or you're charging your sword up, it lets out this giant shockwave of electricity, like this giant AoE shockwave that'll stun enemies. Very useful. You have Mipha's Grace, which is the Zora one. It's basically just a free resurrect. If you die and you have this available, then you just come back to life with all your hearts plus 5 extra, which is obviously just useful if you die. And then you have lastly Daruk's Protection, which whenever you hold left trigger, like when you're in combat or whatever, it puts this giant shield around you that'll block an attack and stun enemies that break the barrier. Also, you have to have this for Ganon's fight at the end. I don't know, because actually I don't know if you do, because is there a way to beat this? I'm sure there's a way to beat this, because you can go straight to the boss fight at the end of the game. Like, you can do it right when Link wakes up at the beginning of the game. I'm almost positive I've read that somewhere. Oh, and lastly, I gotta talk about the final boss fight. I gotta talk about the Ganon fight. It's pretty good, man. Calamity Ganon as a whole, it's definitely an interesting concept. I really do like it. I think he looks badass. He looks like this horrifying, like, arachnid scorpion kind of thing with multiple legs, and it's really just freaky and hellish looking. I love the way he looks. Like any other boss in the game, he has multiple attacks and multiple attack patterns that you gotta memorize and dodge. He has multiple phases that you go through, and then once you beat this phase of Ganon, he turns into, you know, the classic Beast Ganon, except in this, he's like colossal. He's super big. You get the light arrows to take him out with, and then, like, congrats, you beat the game. Hooray. Then I gotta be honest with you, after you beat the game, nothing really changes. It gets you a little star on your profile, like on the loading screen, so you know you beat the game. But after that, it kind of just puts you right out in front of Hyrule Castle again, and you just gotta re-enter the boss fight. So at this point in the game, it's basically telling you, okay, you've done this, go do the rest of the shrines, or go explore the rest of the game. Which, at this point, I'm just like, nah, this is where my time with this game ends. For me personally, I've said I'm not the biggest open world RPG fan. I just don't really see an incentive to go exploring. There's no cool or interesting abilities to upgrade with levels or anything, so there truly is nothing left to do. What am I going to do? Get more hearts and more stamina for the bosses that aren't there? And I know this game has some sort of DLC. I haven't looked into it too much. It's like the Hyrule Champions or whatever. I think you might play as different people or do different boss fights or something. I don't know. I never looked into it. It's not something that really interests me, so maybe I'll go and play it one of these days, but I highly doubt it. I'd rather just play an older Zelda title and get some nostalgia or something personally. After everything, with all that being said, I truly feel like that's all I can say about this game. I don't really have the desire to go on about this any much longer. If you know the podcast, if you're familiar with Jerry App before, we have 2 more quick segments that we're going to do. First being Retard of the Week. So I grabbed a review from Metacritic. Nintendo doesn't publish user reviews from their games, right? Because I don't think they want to get review bombed or whatever. So I pulled a review from Scott Muggs on Metacritic, August 11th, 2023. He says, "Not my type of game. The building feels very gimmicky," which I don't know what building he's talking about. "Too cartoonish, which is a missed opportunity with today's graphic potential. Feels very much like Genshin Impact, though does almost every aspect poorly." You guys know exactly why I chose this as Retard of the Week. I'm not going to lie, the Genshin Impact comment triggered me a little bit because that shit came out 3 or 4 years after, right? I'm not going to look up the release date, but I swear to God, Genshin came out in 2020 or 2021 at some point. So it's just what the fuck are you talking about? And then second of all, the building, I think he may be talking about the way he used a magnet, but I didn't find it that bad. That, or he's talking about Tears of the Kingdom, which is a completely different game. So if you're talking about that on Breath of the Wild reviews, you're just Retard of the Week, man. I don't know what to tell you. So all I gotta say is look before you post. So, you don't want to embarrass yourself and end up in my video and it might get 20 views and people will think you're a dummy. Fucking got him. On to the last segment of the day, the game report. What have I been playing over the past, 2 weeks since I've posted Midnight Club? 2 or 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's been 2 weeks. I've been playing Overwatch, man. Overwatch, I say it every video. Not going to get too into it. Looking forward to Season 16. Just got my second Galactic skin for Anna. First one was for Zenyatta. So we've been playing Overwatch. I've been playing Mecha Bellum as well. Of course, I always say it every week. It's no different. It's like the perfect strategy game. I glaze the fuck out of this game. I love it. They just added a new unit. It's pretty cool. And besides those games, it's just Breath of the Wild, of course. I've been playing Breath of the Wild for a couple weeks now. I haven't played it in a week, and then I just recorded this video, so I probably won't go back to this game for a long, long time. Maybe even ever again, because this game, unfortunately, it's aged a little bit too poorly, especially because Tears of the Kingdom's out, and that game literally just does this game, but just better in every single way, shape, and form. I might go back and play the Hyrule Champions DLC one day, but like I said earlier, I just don't really have an interest in it, and I have other stuff to play as well. So that's been it, man. Sorry for the inconsistency on the podcast. Well, I'm not really sorry. I just don't feel like recording videos because I'm not gonna sit here and shit out videos just for the sake of it. I want to actually do it and put time into them and talk about my actual experience with the game and sit down with each game and give it the proper time it's due. That's why the Breath of the Wild one took so long. I wanted to make sure I did as much as I could, as much as I wanted to, and get it squared away there. So that is going to do it, fellas. That's pretty much going to do it, man. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Would I recommend Breath of the Wild? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I would, man. I really think I would. It's definitely, it missed the mark with me. I'm pretty critical of Zelda games, I guess, but I feel like this game blew up in popularity. This is like a casual gamer's game, you know what I mean? People that don't play video games, I would highly recommend if you want to get into them, if you don't really play them ever, to definitely try this one. It has a lot to offer. You might like it. You might want to sink time into it, and I feel like COVID in 2020 really helped propel that as well. But anyways, man, give it a try, knock it out, see if you like it or not. I would say wait for it to go on sale, but it's been 8 years and it's still $60. It's a Nintendo mainline game, so they're never ever going to drop in price. So yeah, man, after hundreds of words being yapped, I think we're going to close the book on Breath of the Wild here. I know this game is really huge and expansive, so I know there's going to be a lot of stuff that I missed. So just drop a comment down below. Let me know if I got something wrong. Let me know what you want to talk about that I missed. And man, just let it fly down there. Let it sing, man. Let all the slurs sing, okay? With all that being said, Breath of the Wild is more like Breath of the Mild. Breath of the Buffalo Mild Wings. Just not the biggest fan of it, man. Not the biggest fan. Anyways, have a nice day. Have a nice week. Have a nice weekend. Don't forget to exercise, you fat piece of shit. Don't forget to drink water, you fat piece of shit. And I don't know what the next video is going to be, guys. It's going to be something random in a couple weeks. I'm going to pick up and play something. I do want to get back into something single player. I just have no idea what it is yet. So I genuinely have no idea what it's going to be. So that's it, guys. Take care. Peace.